Hello, everyone, and welcome back to this podcast. I am very excited that you have joined us. Today, I am very happy because we will have a very funny episode, and we will surely laugh a lot.
Hey everyone! Thanks for tuning in again. Today's episode is going to be a lot of fun. We're diving into some of the strangest, most funny idioms in English. And trust me, there are plenty to choose from.
That's right. If you've ever heard someone say something like, "It's raining cats and dogs," and wondered what on earth that could mean, then this episode is for you. Idioms are one of the trickiest parts of learning English because they often don't make literal sense. But they're a huge part of everyday conversation, so it's important to understand them, and they can be pretty funny too.
Exactly. And the best part is, once you start using idioms correctly, it'll make you sound more fluent and natural in your English conversations. Plus, who doesn't want to say things like, break the ice or kick the bucket? These phrases can be real conversation starters, especially when non-native speakers use them.
We've picked out some of our favorite idioms for today, ones that not only sound ridiculous, but are also super common in English-speaking countries. We'll break them down, explain their meanings, and even give you examples of how to use them. Ready to jump in?
Let's do it! Alright, let's start with one that really confused me when I was first learning English, break a leg. Now, I remember someone telling me that right before a performance, and I was like, why on earth would they want me to get hurt? What's going on with this one?
Yeah, break a leg does sound pretty brutal, right? But it's actually a way to wish someone good luck, especially before a performance, like in theater. The phrase comes from old superstition, where saying good luck was believed to bring bad luck, so they said the opposite to trick fate.
Exactly. So next time someone tells you to break a leg, don't run for cover, they just want you to do well. You could say it to a friend who's about to take an exam or give a presentation, like, hey, break a leg on your big presentation today.
Right. Just don't take it literally, okay? Now, let's move on to another one that's equally strange. Bite the bullet.
Oh, this one. Bite the bullet means to endure something painful or unpleasant, but where did this come from?
Good question. This idiom has its origins in battlefield medicine. Before anesthesia was widely available, soldiers were often given a bullet to bite on during surgery to help them cope with the pain. Pretty intense, huh?
Wow, so nowadays, we use bite the bullet when we need to face something tough, but it's definitely a lot less painful than surgery. For example, if you've been procrastinating on doing your taxes, you might say, I'm just going to bite the bullet and get them done tonight.
Exactly. It's all about powering through something you'd rather avoid. Okay, here's another idiom that always gets people scratching their heads. The elephant in the room.
I love this one. It's funny because who would actually ignore an elephant in a room? But that's the point, right?
Yep. This idiom refers to an obvious problem or issue that everyone is aware of, but no one wants to talk about. It's like there's this big, awkward topic that everyone is avoiding.
So, for example, let's say you're at a family gathering and there's been a recent argument that no one wants to bring up. You could say, we really need to address the elephant in the room, this tension between mom and dad.
Exactly. It's a metaphor for those uncomfortable situations we all find ourselves in sometimes. All right, how about you take the next one? It's one of my favorites because it's just so bizarre. When pigs fly.
Ah, when pigs fly. This is used to talk about something that's never going to happen, right? I mean, can you imagine pigs actually flying?
Haha, no way. It's just a humorous way to say that something is impossible or extremely unlikely. For example, if someone says, I'll start working out every day, and you know they hate exercise, you might say, yeah, right, when pigs fly.
Exactly. It's a playful way to express disbelief. And speaking of things that seem impossible, this next idiom really throws people off, raining cats and dogs.
Oh, yes. Raining cats and dogs is one of those idioms that just sounds crazy. But it simply means that it's raining really hard.
Right. And even though it sounds like animals are falling from the sky, this one's actually pretty common in English. You might hear it when there's a big storm outside. For example, I'm not going out there, it's raining cats and dogs.
Yeah, It's definitely not the kind of rain you want to be caught in. But here's a question. Do you think it ever makes sense to say, it's raining cats and dogs, literally?
Haha, not unless we're in some weird parallel universe where animals really do rain down from the sky. So, no, just stick with the idea that it's a heavy downpour.
Okay, let's do one more idiom before we wrap up. This one's for anyone who's ever felt out of place or awkward, like a fish out of water.
This is a good one. Like a fish out of water is used to describe someone who's in a situation where they feel uncomfortable or out of their element. Just imagine a fish flopping around on land, not a good place for it to be.
Exactly. You can use this idiom when you're in a new environment or trying something you're not familiar with. For example, if you're at a fancy dinner and you don't know what fork to use, you might say, I feel like a fish out of water here.
It's a great way to describe that awkward, out-of-place feeling. And who hasn't felt like a fish out of water at some point, right?
Definitely. It's a relatable idiom that perfectly captures those moments of discomfort. So, to recap, we've covered some pretty ridiculous but useful idioms today. Break a leg, bite the bullet, the elephant in the room, when pigs fly, raining cats and dogs, and like a fish out of water. Each of these expressions might sound strange at first, but they're super common in English and can add a lot of flavor to your conversations.
And remember, learning idioms is all about practice and getting comfortable with them. The more you hear and use them, the more natural they'll feel.
Exactly. Don't be afraid to try them out in your conversations. Sure, you might make a mistake here or there, but that's all part of the learning process.
Absolutely. And just like we said earlier, these idioms can make your conversations more fun and engaging. Plus, they're a great way to impress native speakers with your knowledge of English quirks.
That's right. And with that, we've reached the end of today's episode. But don't worry, we'll be back soon with another exciting topic. What do we have lined up for next time?
In our next episode, we'll be tackling the confusing world of phrasal verbs, another tricky part of English that's full of surprises. We'll break them down and show you how to use them in everyday conversations, so you don't want to miss that.
It's going to be really helpful for anyone looking to improve their fluency. So make sure to subscribe to this podcast so you never miss an episode.
And don't forget, if you enjoyed today's episode, share it with a friend who might also enjoy learning about these funny idioms. We'd love to hear your thoughts, so leave a comment below.
Thanks for listening today, and if you found the video helpful and that you're feeling more equipped to handle those funny idioms, please hit the like button. Make sure to subscribe to my channel so you never miss an episode and share it with others who might benefit. And if you have any questions or topics you'd like us to cover in future episodes, we'd love to hear from you, so your feedback is really important to us. Thanks for listening, and as always, happy learning. You're doing great. Bye, everyone.